Tesla, everything you need to know. Hello and welcome back to MIA Luxury Cars. For today's video, we will be going to talk about Tesla, everything you need to know. Let's get started. This is all the information you require to become familiar with Tesla. Many of you might be surprised by this. The magic, the gathering friends, Mark Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, who were also Silicon Valley veterans, founded Tesla in the sleepy Northern California town of Menlo Park. They combined their skills and achieved great success with an early e-reader company that produced the Rocket ebook, the forerunner to the Kindle. The tiny engines that powered their little imitation books was one of their specialties. Like any other 40-year-old man in the world, Eberhard was recently divorced and prepared to purchase a sports automobile. He was considering the options, but he also began to consider his influence. He must have passed over the somewhat endearing Miata, since he became interested in a tiny vehicle known as the AC Propulsion T0. Small Business AC Propulsion is located in San Dimas, California. After one visit, Eberhard went over to check what their little yellow, distinctly 90s T0 was all about. Eberhard invested in AC Propulsion very quickly. He considered turning it into a legitimate automaker, rather than just a little business in the RD workshop. One issue with the early EVs was that they were all built using the lead-acid batteries, a battery technology that has been around for approximately 100 years. However, Mark had some knowledge of lithium-ion batteries. That is what prompted Eberhard and Tarpenning to start Tesla Motors, which was subsequently named after Nikola Tesla. On April 23, 2003, they officially launched Tesla Motors, as all startups do these days. At that time, they also discovered that the auto industry had evolved into a sector of suppliers because Ford doesn't create every component that goes into its vehicles. Many of parts, including windshields, hoses, wiring, springs, and wheels, are imported. These men were eager to put together a small, straightforward sports car that produced no CO2 nor NOx because they had expertise in Silicon Valley and understood a thing or two about it. Instead, they decided to look for a chassis onto which they could mount a large electric motor and a jumble of other equipment. Tesla also negotiated a licensing agreement with AC Propulsion to use their motor and controller for the powertrain, while Lotus was already ready. They were able to raise money from a number of little sources, but they needed one large whale to complete the deal and give them the go-ahead. In late April 2004, one of their Silicon Valley friends who loved cars became highly intrigued and excitedly contributed a few million clams. Elon had just sold his Silicon Valley powerhouse PayPal when Tesla was created in 2003. With Musk now on board and lots of cash on hand, they engaged Ian Wright as their go-to gearhead, with a solid track record of developing race vehicles. Tesla's first test vehicle, the Roadster, was developed in 2004. It was essentially a Lotus Elise, but with an electric motor, batteries, and various other tech bits working various kinds of software to bring the whole thing together. It worked and they were thrilled. Their new functional mule also assisted them in securing more funding to keep going, to the tune of a cool $13 million. The Tesla Roadster official launch party was held at Santa Monica Airport in lovely Mar Vista, California. In July of 2006, Tesla filled the first 100 pre-orders at $100,000, and they were off to the races. However, there were some disagreements on design elements, ergonomics, and the use of space, and the debut kept getting postponed. Keep in mind that most of these automobiles were already purchased. We haven't even discussed making products available to the general public yet. Elon Musk then took over as CEO and established himself as the public face of the young company. And when the Tesla Roadster made its official appearance in 2008, the enthusiasm only grew. Over 2,400 units were sold globally between 2008 and 2012. The motor is a three-phased, four-pole induction electric motor with a maximum output of 248 Hz per second and a maximum torque of 200 pound-feet that turns on instantly and remains at its maximum until 6,000 revolutions per minute. Later in its production, the torque was increased to 295 pound-feet for even more insane acceleration, slamming through the quarter mile in just over 12.5 seconds and scoring to 60 mph in under 4 seconds. It was time for a high-end rival after a pricey Roadster. Enter the Tesla Model S, the vehicle that Tesla began producing in 2012, to brashly announce to the world their arrival. The Model S features a roomy, comfy interior filled with good amenities, and it is operated via a large, outdated touchscreen that resembles an iPad in the front dash. Being electric means there are no engine vibrations, instantaneous power delivery, and constant power delivery. With the option of adding crazy mode from the factory, this 588 robust horsepower, 920 pound-feet beast rushes to 60 miles per hour in just 2.3 seconds. While the Model S has undergone several power upgrades, drivetrain modifications, and facelift since April 2016, the regenerative braking technology allows you to recover some of the electricity that speeds you up in the first place as you slow down. This makes the car feel like a spaceship for the road. It is still the same generation, but most OEMs just release a new generation of vehicles when there are enough upgrades and alterations to a car. However, Tesla doesn't do that. They identify their generations by giving each one a unique car, from around 15 cars per week in 2010 to almost 1,000 cars per week in 2015. Production of cars increased dramatically. Tesla therefore determined that the time had come for their second generation car. Recall that Tesla's strategy was launch its products from top to bottom. First a sports car, then a luxury performance sedan, and then in early 2015, the Tesla Model X SUV. Despite sharing 30% of the parts with the Model S, the Model X doesn't quite attain the same range since it weighs more than the 1990 Ford F-250, which has 1,000 fewer lives at 5,531. The Model X P100D with Luna mode is a crossover with amazing power. It accelerates from 0 to 60 mph in under 2.9 seconds. It is identical to a freaking Ferrari 488's 0 to 60 time. The concept was one that Elon has possessed a number of badass cores. His first automobile was a 1978 BMW 320i, which he drove till a wheel practically fell off. He also often drove a McLaren F1. Are you ready for this? But Musk's current Audi Q7, which he owns, is the vehicle that most directly contributed to an actual Tesla design, in order to access the third row seats without having to fold the second row seats forward. He intended to create a car with doors that can open in small spaces. Thus, Falcon doors were created. Before it went on sale, the Model X attracted 30,000 pre-orders. Due to its high anticipation, delivery began with just 204 units in the fourth quarter of 2015, as the Model X production took some time to ramp up due to supply constraints. Elon was receiving criticism over reports of badly run factories and poor construction quality, so Musk hired analysts and subject matter experts with impressive resumes from companies like Ford, GM, and everyone else to turn around operations. The Model X began to produce after he kept what worked and rejected what didn't. He was going to get into Tesla's third mass market vehicle, the Model 3. The Model 3 received 325,000 reservations within a week of its announcement. It was designed to be a lighter, smaller, and more affordable vehicle, and this is evident in its accessories. However, as of July 2017, production of the rear-wheel drive single-motor sedan was increased and is now capped at 5,000 vehicles each week, which is a lot of batteries cruising those strokes. The Tesla Model 3 outsold Mercedes, Audi, and even the Toyota Corolla to become the best-selling automobile of 2018. Pricing ranges from about 42,000 to over 60,000 for certain higher-end versions. The top-level all-wheel drive Performance 1 accelerates from 0 to 60 mph in 3.3 seconds, while the 3 does so in 5.6 seconds. It has 450 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. In fact, the new kick-ass swap is discovering a total Tesla and mudding your favorite little chassis, including the 1981 Honda Accord, S3s, and S2000s. All of these vehicles have become fierce beasts that can accelerate from 0 to 60 in under 6 seconds. Electric vehicles are not simply the future of transportation. Take it from Big Brother. They are also the future of tune. What's next for Tesla? The 2020 Roadster, which is scheduled for production, will reportedly reach 60 mph in 1.9 seconds and 100 mph in 4.2 seconds, making it as fast as an F1 car. Tesla is taking all the research and development, safety, and other factors into consideration to create this new version of the Roadster, which they've dubbed the 2020 version. The new Roadster, unlike the original, won't use another person's chassis like Nolan does. Instead, it will be a fully Tesla-developed hypercar. The automobile is anticipated to cost roughly $200,000, but compared to other incredibly fast cars now available on the market, it may still represent a fantastic value. Elon acknowledged that it might have a function known as the SpaceX Option Package. What have you learned about our topic? Please let me know by leaving a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thank you for stopping by to watch. See you in our next video.